If you're already running ads on Facebook or you are looking to get started on Facebook ads, you need to see this video. What we're going to be touching on in this video is how to figure out that north light, how to figure out when to turn off ad sets or when to turn on ad sets, how to scale, and how to make sure that you're profitable. Because if you're not profitable, then your business isn't, and therefore you shouldn't be doing business. But let's get straight into the video. My name is Josh and I'm a 7-figure seller who loves all things e-commerce, productivity, and personal finance. So sit back, relax, and let's jump straight into it. So what is it specifically that we're talking about here? We're talking about break-even return on ad spend. Now this metric is so crucial because it really determines the difference between you being profitable and you being unprofitable on the Facebook marketing platform. Now Facebook, when you're advertising on Facebook or Instagram through the ads manager, it is literally a data game. So if you're just kind of closing your eyes, shutting off your ears and just kind of hoping for the best, it's not going to work in your favor because Facebook won't know what performance you like, what performance is determined good in the ad account, and all those kinds of things, right? So we want to make sure that if performance is bad, as in, your ad account or some campaigns drop below your break-even ROAS, then you make sure you turn those off and train your Facebook pixel as well as your ad account to get you better results. Let's just jump straight into my computer right here, and I'll give you this link to the spreadsheet in the description below. But pretty much this is how I go about and figure out my break-even ROAS for all my products. This spreadsheet assumes that you offer free shipping, right? Just with e-commerce, I always offer free shipping just because it just doesn't, I don't want to add that extra layer of resistance for my customers when they go and check out. If they see free ship, with Amazon and all the other retailers, online retailers right now, they've kind of spoiled the online customer base, right? So they kind of expect free shipping. So we're using that assumption here. So now what you're going to see here is, you've got your product cost, what the shipping cost to you is, and how much you're selling the product for. So for example, if my product costs $17 and it costs me about $8 to ship out the product, and I'm selling the product for like $65, then what it's going to do is auto-populated, and we're going to calculate your break-even point. So that's what this BEP stands for, which is pretty much just selling price minus cost minus selling fee. Shipping fee, sorry. What this means is that this number, you can spend up to this number in order to break even, not lose any money, not make any money. And generally speaking, when you're first testing, this is an okay number to kind of go up to, right? To get a purchase. Because at the beginning, your Facebook pixel doesn't know who your audience is, doesn't know your ideal audience, and it's just not trained up. So by getting purchases and getting more data on the pixel, it actually can be beneficial. The next number is the minimum return on ad spend, right? Now this minimum return on ad spend is your selling price, so $65, divided by your break-even point, which is $40. So this means that my minimum ROAS for this product is 1.63. Generally, as a target, I always look for a minimum ROAS of about 1.8 and lower. If it's at the 2, 3s, it's very unrealistic and very difficult to maintain that kind of level of return. So therefore, you're going to have a difficult time and you're going to have to work really hard on Facebook. With this one, minimum ROAS is 1.6. It's below my target. Things are good, right? Now the the rows underneath show me what my target cost per purchase is for if I want to have a 30% margin and a 20% margin, right? Depending on you. And you can continue to change this up if you want just a 10% margin, 50% margin, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, right? If you have a look here, the formula pretty much it goes into selling price times by 1 minus the desired profit margin, so 30%, right? Minus the shipping fees and minus the cost of product. So what this is going to tell me is that, okay, my target cost per purchase is $20.47. So I can spend up to $20 to get a purchase, and therefore I can know roughly that I will get about 30% profit. Now the same applies for down below at 20%, but it allows me to pay about $27 and still remain profitable at the 20% gross profit margin. Now these are really good indicators because it allows me to let Facebook spend their money, right? My money. I'm gonna know when I want to turn them on. Sorry. So for example, if my minimum ROAS for whatever campaign starts dipping below the 1.63, then what that tells me is that I need to turn this ad set off, or I need to have a drill in deeper and really start to analyze what's going on here. Why is the return on ad spend dropping so much? And do I need to turn it off, or do I need to turn off some ad sets or some ads, right? So there are 3 different levels of analysis that you need to be doing. By having this spreadsheet, it just allows you to have much more control, because if you don't, then you're just literally just letting Facebook spend money all the time, and you're not going to know when to turn things on and off. And honestly, it's going to waste so much money, and it's going to be a very painful lesson to be learned, right? So I just hope that you guys actually apply this. Go ahead when you're jumping onto this, go file and make a copy, right? Because this is an edit, this is locked for you guys, but you can make a copy, right? Now, when it comes down here, let me just talk you through a few other rows. Generally, on my store, right, the percentage of purchases reduces by about 50% from those that add to cart. So what that means is when you're talking about costs, again, it's a data-driven game. If I want to get a purchase at $20, right, 50% of that is $10. So therefore, I want to get my add to carts at about $10, give or take, right? That kind of guarantees that, okay, we're on the right path. Even though an ad set hasn't got a purchase just yet, if it's getting add to carts at about $10, that gives me relative confidence that I can let this kind of run and see how things are going. And then this 2 times target cost per purchase is my metric for when I'm testing new audiences or new creatives. What I want to be doing is, I would, like, let's say for example, I'm testing a brand new creative, brand new angle. What I do is I let that ad spend up to 2 times the target cost per purchase. So I will let it spend up to about $40, right? And it's already calculated this because 30% is my general rule of thumb gross profit margin. The 2 times target cost per purchase is $40. So when I'm testing, I'll let that ad spend up to $41, right? And then I'll turn it off, or I'll just review the data, right? If it's profitable, great. I'm just going to leave it on and then use my return on ad spend to kind of have a look at what's going on. Is it profitable? Can I scale it? What do I need to do here? That's just for testing, right? And then generally down here, I just had a few notes, key metrics, cost per click. Generally, I want that cost per click below $1.5, right? And then the click-through rate, which is CTR, I want that generally to be at minimum about 1 to 2%, right? At the very minimum. Because if it's below those numbers or higher than those numbers, then that means that your ad just isn't performing. You just need to reconsider and turn it off, or, reconsider just redoing the whole ad. Now, further down, there are just some general guidelines. If an ad set gets purchases, this is a very strong sign. Like, if they get purchases straight away, very, very strong sign that there is a good product market fit. The audience likes your product, they resonate with the messaging, all that kind of stuff. If an ad set spends up to your target cost per purchase without an add to cart or initiate checkout, I generally like to kill it. So what that means is, for example, $20, if it's spent up to $20 and hasn't got an add to cart, hasn't got an initiate checkout, hasn't got a purchase, I'll generally just turn it off, because it's just, at that point, I don't have confidence that it's not going to perform. But if an ad set spends up to 2 times target cost per purchase, in this case, it should be $40 without a sale, you should just kill it. What that means is, if it's spent, $40 and it's got plenty of add to carts, plenty of initiate checkouts, but still no purchases, I just want to turn that off, because I don't want to rely and kind of hope that it's working. I just want to turn it off, because again, it is a data game. You can't get emotional with these numbers. But this spreadsheet helps you. Imagine you're driving a car, right? And then the engine light comes on. When the engine light comes on, you know that something's wrong. So you need to go ahead and, get it checked out. Same applies for your ad account. There are all these numbers and triggers and all these kinds of things that will help you make the right decisions on Facebook. Now, if you don't have these, then you're just literally just driving into oblivion, and you're just gonna have a really, really hard time on Facebook. So I really encourage you guys to jump onto this spreadsheet, plug in your own numbers, and figure out all of your KPIs, your key performance indicators. If you guys have multiple products on your store, I like to go and copy and duplicate each sheet, right, for each product. Now, generally in my campaigns, I always segregate it based on products and also geographic locations, right? But by having this, you know that for each campaign, you can have in the naming convention, you can say, oh, my break-even point or my break-even ROAS is 1.6. So you and your team can know when to turn things on or when to turn things off. So I hope that helps you. And as a last final note, guys, I will say that with iOS 14, the whole attribution, the whole data reporting, there is about like a 20%, 30% loss of data from what I've seen in my ad accounts. Now, some ad accounts actually have seen about a 50% loss. So what I like to do is, I actually like to, when I set up a new campaign, or a new ad set or a new creative test, I always like to leave it for about 3 days. Just let it run. Like, don't worry too much about it. Just kind of go about, do your own day, work on your business, all that kind of stuff, and then come back and review the data. Because sometimes the data doesn't come straight away and doesn't appear in the ads manager. The other thing I will mention is that with the whole iOS 14 thing, with this attribution issue, what I like to do is take an ROAS, like an estimated ROAS of overall ad spend versus overall revenue. So what I'll do is, I won't rely specifically on the ads manager, but what I'll do is take the amount spent at the beginning of the next day. I'll have a look at the amount spent for yesterday and the revenue for yesterday. And then I'll do my own manual calculation to see if, okay, is my store profitable this day or not? And if it's not, then I will go into Google Analytics, have a look at certain attribution issues like click-through rates, cost per click, CPMs, or like, percentage of add to carts, percentage of initiate checkouts, percentage of purchases, all this kind of stuff, and start to diagnose where things are going wrong. But it's really, really important that you start here, right? And understand that, yes, this is your guiding light. Like, this is where you need to aspire to. This is where you need to kind of go to, right? And train up your ad account to, if anything drops down 1.63 or whatever your break-even ROAS is, you start to consider, okay, do I need to turn it off? What do I need to do here? And start analyzing, start thinking. Facebook is a very, very smart algorithm, but it sometimes needs some human interaction, right? Because you know your brand, you know your all of your metrics better than anyone. Also, you should. Facebook won't know that kind of stuff, so we need to teach it. And then the algorithm and all of that can really work in your favor. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. That's all the time that we have for today. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer anything or help you guys down below. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know exactly when I'm going to be dropping another video. So if you guys are staying safe, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.